Numbers chapter 21. Probably a familiar story or two in this one. And when King Arid the Canaanite, which dwelt in the south, heard tell that Israel had came by the way of the spies, then he fought against Israel, and took some of them prisoners. And Israel vowed a vow unto the Lord, and said, If you will indeed deliver this people into my hand, then I will utterly destroy their cities. And the Lord hearkened to the voice of Israel, and delivered up the Canaanites. And they utterly destroyed them and their cities, and he called the name of the place Hormah. And they journeyed from Mount Hor by the way of a Red Sea to compass the land of Edom. Remember, Edom wouldn't let them go through. And it says, And the soul of the people was much discouraged because of the way. Page. And the people spake against God. Here we go again. And against Moses. Wherefore have ye brought us up out of Egypt to die in the wilderness? For there is no bread, neither is there any water, and our soul loatheth this light bread. So there is bread, there's manna, but they don't like it no more. They got tired of it. They're complaining. Watch what the Lord does. He sends fiery serpents among the people, and they bit the people, and much people of Israel died. Why? Because they said, You brought us up out of Egypt to die. They kept saying that over and over, and every time they say it, they start dying. Should be a lesson to guard our words a little better, shouldn't it? It says, Therefore the people came to Moses and said, We have sinned, for we have spoken against the Lord and against you. Pray unto the Lord that he takes away the serpents from us. And Moses prayed for the people. And the Lord said unto Moses, Make thee a fiery serpent, and set it upon a pole. And it shall come to pass that every one that is bitten, when he looks upon it, shall live. And Moses made a serpent of brass, and put it upon a pole. And it came to pass that if a serpent had bitten any man, when he beheld the serpent of brass, he lived. Now, people's puzzled over this because Jesus uses this when he's teaching about he's going to go be crucified. He says, As Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, so shall the Son of Man be lifted up. Why would he compare himself to a serpent? Why would they have a serpent on there in the first place? You know, serpents are signs of wickedness, signs of sin. But I think that's the point, because remember what they say about Jesus when he was put on that cross and lifted up. He was made to be sin. And anybody that looks upon him and believes upon him is made to be his righteousness. Healed, whole. Same way in this thing. When you look upon that simple thing, that thing that's coming after them and getting them, when you look upon that, all you had to do was look at it. Watch what happens. It says, And Moses made a serpent of brass, put it upon a pole, and it came to pass that if a serpent had bitten any man, when he beheld the serpent of brass, I know I've read that, but he lived. Amen. If you look upon the Son of Man, you'll live. And the children of Israel set forth and pitched in Oboth. And they journeyed from Oboth and pitched in Abarim in the wilderness, which is before Moab, toward the sunrising. From thence they removed and pitched in the valley of Zered, and thence they removed and pitched on the other side of Arnon, which is the wilderness that comes out of the coast of the Amorites. For Arnon is the border of Moab, between Moab and the Amorites. Excuse me. Wherefore it is said in the book of the wars of the Lord. There's something to stop and think about. You see this a few times in the Bible. It mentions some book. It's not actually in this book. The book of the wars of the Lord. You see that several times. It says, what he did in the Red Sea and in the brooks of Arnon. And at the stream of the brooks, and about those books, the various books it mentions, why are they not in here? I don't know if they got lost. I don't know. Somebody knows. God knows. But anyway. And at the stream of the brooks that go down to the dwelling of Ar and lieth upon the border of Moab. And from thence they went to Beer, that is the well thereof. The Lord spake unto Moses, Gather the people together, and I will give them water. Then Israel sang this song, Spring up, O well, sing ye unto it. The princes digged the well, the nobles of the people digged it, by the direction of the lawgiver with their staves. And from the wilderness they went to Mattanah. And from Mattanah to Nahaliel, and from Nahaliel to Bamoth, and from Bamoth in the valley, that is in the country of Moab, to the top of Pisgah, which looks toward Jeshimon. A lot of odd sounding places, isn't it? Odd to us, I guess. And Israel sent messengers unto Sihon, king of the Amorites, saying, Let me pass through thy land. We will not turn into the fields or into the vineyards. We will not drink of the waters of the well. So they've tried going through Edom, wouldn't let them. Now they're going to try to go through the land of the Amorites, I guess. But we will go along the king's highway until we pass thy borders. And Sihon would not suffer Israel to pass through his border. But Sihon gathered all his people together and went out against Israel into the wilderness, and he came to Jahaz and fought against Israel. And Israel smote him with the edge of the sword and possessed his land from Arnon to Jabbok, even unto the children of Ammon, for the border of the children of Ammon was strong. And Israel took all these cities, and Israel dwelt in all the cities of the Amorites, in Heshbon, and in all the villages thereof. For Heshbon was the city of Sihon, the king of the Amorites, who had fought against the former king of Moab, and taken all his land out of his hand, even unto Arnon. Wherefore they that speak in Proverbs say, Come to Heshbon, let the city of Sihon be built and prepared. For there is a fire gone out of Heshbon, a flame from the city of Sihon. It has consumed Ar of Moab, and the lords of the high places of Arnon. Woe to thee, Moab! Thou art undone, O people of Chemosh. He hath given his sons that escaped, and his daughters, into the captivity of Sihon, the king of the Amorites. We have shot at them. Heshbon is perished, even unto Dibon, and we have laid them waste, even to Nophah, which reaches unto Medeba. Thus Israel dwelt in the land of the Amorites, and Moses sent to spy out Jazer, and they took the villages thereof, and drove out the Amorites that were there. And they turned and went up by the way of Bashan, and Og, the king of Bashan, went out against them, and he and all his people, to the battle at Edrei, I guess. And the Lord said unto Moses, Fear him not, for I have delivered him into your hand, and all his people and his land, and thou shalt do to him as you did to Sihon, king of the Amorites, and dwell at Heshbon. So they smote him and his sons and all his people until there was none left him alive, and they possessed his land. So that's it for chapter 21. I guess we'll try 22 tomorrow. Or 22 probably be Monday. God bless you. Have a good weekend. See you then.